Hey there nation, and welcome to the show where we help you to play miniatures wargaming on a budget. It is I, Commander Cheapskate, and welcome to the other episode of Way of the Underhive, your ultimate guide to Games Workshop's gritty and immersive skirmish game, Necromunda. So whether you're brand new to the dark depths of Hive Primus or a veteran looking to sharpen your skills, this series is your go-to resource for mastering all aspects of the game. From gang warfare to campaign strategies, we've got you covered. And on today's episode, we're going to talk about doing something a little bit differently this time. This time we're going to actually talk about utilizing miniatures from a different Games Workshop's IP and using it for your games of Necromunda. Specifically, we're talking about the Explorers from the Blackstone Fortress Warhammer Quest game series. This game series actually is quite popular. It has some really beautiful miniatures for Warhammer 40,000. There was a lot of cool support as well as additional characters that are in that setting, and I decided it would be kind of like a fun episode to see exactly how you could utilize these Explorers and use them in your own games of Necromunda as well. And I'll be dividing these guys amongst the different ship crews that they represent as well as different supplements that were released for Games Workshop's Blackstone Fortress over the years. So because there's a very specific faction you'd like to take a look at, I do have the timestamps in the description box down below so that we can click and navigate to the video that interests you the most. So that being said, let's talk about utilizing Blackstone Fortress Explorers in our games of Necromunda. So like I mentioned before, I did something a little bit different this time around with this video. Instead of actually giving you a full-blown roster with all the fighters and everything you can do for them, what I decided to do rather is actually focus on individual explorers, individual characters, and talk about exactly how they would fit inside the setting, how to best equip them, what characteristics to give them, that sort of thing as well. And because, there's a variety of ways that people can interpret playing these characters on the tabletop, if you feel like changing some of the things that I make in this video, feel free to do so. I mean, these are just suggestions, the way I've been seeing it, and way how the game mechanics would work for different rule sets and equipment and such like that, but if you want to play them a different way, feel free to do so. So in order to have these fighters fit within the overall setting of Necromunda, I decided to go with Venators for these guys. For one very simple reason. Venators are extremely diverse and flexible. There's a lot of flexibility in the characteristics as well as the type of fighters they have. They have a lot of variety of different special rules attached to their fighters as well. Same thing with skills, weapons, and war gear, all kinds of stuff. So if you really want to make a really heavily customized gang that fits specifically your playstyle, a Venator gang or an Outcast gang are usually the way to go. Now for these characters, I picked Venators specifically just because the Venators have a really interesting rule set, and I think it kind of matches these characters the most. And like I said before, these are all just recommendations, so if you want to change it up, feel free to do so. So the first group of Blackstone Fortress Explorers we're going to focus on are the crew of the Vanguard. This is the original group of Explorers that came with the box set. We're going to talk about each of these fighters one by one and talk about exactly how they could actually participate in your campaign. So the original box set had 9 explorers you could choose from. All 9 fighters are illustrated in this picture. We're going to talk about each one individually and talk about exactly how they could fit as a Venator. I do also choose different types of fighters like champions, hunters, same thing with leaders as well. So like I said before, if you want to change the focus of your own party and have different rules associated to them, feel free to do so. So let's go and talk about exactly what the individual fighters would carry and what they would look like in your campaign setting. So the first character I chose to be the leader for this little outfit was Janus Drake. This guy is a house hunt leader. It's going to cost you 280 credits. This character's got 5-inch wind allowance, 3+ weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, and toughness and wounds, 4 initiative, 6 leadership, 5 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 6 intelligence. I really like the characteristics for this character because it's the most versatile that's out there. It pretty much takes on anything that you can throw at you, and you can do pretty well at it as well. Not to mention the physical characteristics as well as the mental characteristics are quite strong. In addition, you also got that 3 wounds as well, which makes it very attractive to use for this specific character. And I chose Janus Drake to use as the leader for this little warband just because of the way the narrative is overall written. He's a rogue trader, he's got a lot of contacts, so I thought it'd be a nice natural fit for that. Now because you can take the House Legacy rules for free in the Bone Dry and Broke supplement for Necromunda Apocrypha, I decided to give this guy the Vansar House Legacy just because I thought a lot of the weapons and equipment that he would carry would pretty much match what that list has to offer. So first of all, he's going to have an armored body glove for free because he is a Vansar guy, which gives him immune to Radphage as well as gives him a +1 to his armor save. We're giving this guy mesh armor to give him a 4 armor save in total. Now for his weapons, he's carrying a combat pistol, which is going to be a combination of last pistol as well as plasma gun. The reason why is because you can use both this weapon in close combat as well as for shooting. Plasma gun pistols are no joke whatsoever. Get that rapid fire strength 5. And now granted it's stuck on the low setting when you use it for your combo weapon, but nothing's perfect. And he's also got a power sword as well because obviously he's carrying a sword as well. Now you'll notice I didn't leave any skills on this one. The reason why is because I will leave that to you, the individual player, to determine what kind of skills you want for this character. After all, if you're building a Venator gang, you do have to pick your own skills, so I'll leave that up to you as the player. Ideally though, probably like a gunfighter type of thing with shooting or combat would probably be the best skills to take for this character. Up next is Esper Locano. He's going to be a house hunt champion for this gang. He's going to cost 180 credits for this one. And for the characteristics for this character, we're choosing 5-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. And the reason why we picked this characteristics for Esper Locano is because of that 6+ willpower stat, because this character is supposed to be a psyker, and we're going to make this character a psyker in your list as well. We're giving this character the House Delac legacy, and the reason why is because a lot of the weapons and equipment that's in that list pretty much matches with this character's overall aesthetic. We're giving him mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a master crafted last pistol and a master crafted shock stave, so that way you can reroll those hits once per battle because they're quite good. I would suggest giving the master crafted shock stave force tuned as soon as possible. You can use it using a sighted tuner. This is from the Book of the Outcast, so that way you get sever on your weapon as well as a power trait attached to it, which is quite nice. And we're spending 30 credits to give this guy a Psyker upgrade, and we're giving this guy Telekinesis, and the reason why is because the Telekinesis discipline pretty much matches what this character can do in the Blackstone Fortress board game. This gives him Fist of Fury, gives him +2 strength on his unarmed attacks, and at the same time also gives him the ability to give Force Shield with fighters within 3 inches of him, which means you improve their armor save by 1 point, which is quite useful, and it kind of plays into the whole idea of what Esper Locano does inside the game itself. Our last champion for this crew would be Thaddeus the Purifier, and the reason why I chose that is because this guy's character's role in the game, besides being a frontline fighter, is that he can also heal people in Blackstone Fortress, so that's the reason why we gave this guy the champion designation. He's going to cost 255 credits, he's got a movement characteristic of 5 inches, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 4 strength and 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. We're giving this character the House Kaldar legacy for obvious reasons, and for his equipment we're giving him mesh armor for 5 armor save, as well as a power maul because that's what he's packing. We're also giving him a last pistol for shooting attack. We're also giving this character a meta skull as well as the Medicaid kit, so that way he can help out people who are injured near his person, so that way he can help them out. Plus the little meta skull kind of looks like a little service skull right next to him. Now in the game I believe the service skull carries a gun, but for this setting though we're just going to make a meta skull so that we can help out other fighters who are injured around them. If you were to give this character a skill, I would say give him the Medicaid skill from the Savant skill tree, so that way you can help patch up your other fighters and at the same time also fight. That strength 4 with that power maul will make him quite deadly in close combat as well. And that is our overall take for Thaddeus the Purifier. Alright, up next is your fighter, Emmeline Shadow Guide. Now, Emmeline Shadow Guide is going to be a house hunter who's going to cost 165 credits. The characteristic of this character is 6 movement, 4 weapon skill, 5 ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. Unfortunately, her ballistic skill is not that great. It's a 5+, and you might be thinking, well, Commander Chiefskate, why did you give her the 5+ ballistic skill characteristic when she's supposed to be Eldar and supposed to be, fast and swift? Well, that's why. I chose the characters that has 6-inch wound allowance as well as a 3+ initiative, because that to me looked like the closest that would be for an Eldar type character, and that's the reason why I did that. Plus, with the equipment we're going to give her, we're going to mitigate that 5+ ballistic skill as much as possible. Now we're giving your character a House Vansar legacy because she kind of, as closely resembles what they would carry around. We gave her armored body gloves as well as mesh armor, so she's immune to Ravage, plus gives her 4 armor save with that mesh armor. We gave her Hotshot Laskin with focusing crystal as well as infrasight. So you're striking at strength 4, you got that -3 with that focusing crystal on the AP on that one, plus the infrasight will also remove partial cover, give you +1 hit when you aim as well, so it drops to ballistic skill 4. If you're within short range of the last gun, that'll drop it to ballistic skill 3, so that can help out. And for a close combat weapon, giving her a power knife because that looks like what she's carrying on her character. And that's my take on Emmeline Shadow Guide. The next house hunter is going to be Pious Vorn. She's going to cost 200 credits. We're going with the 4-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 5 initiative, 1 attack, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 7 willpower, as well as 6 intelligence. Now we went with this characteristic because that strength 4 characteristic is what we're going for in this one, and she's a little bit slower and all, but that's the way it goes because we want that hit to actually really hurt you when she attacks you. Now we're giving her the Kaldar House legacy for obvious reasons. We're giving her mesh armor for 5 armor save as well as an eviscerator, which is a great close combat attack. It's also got a versatile trait attached to it. It's also got chain attacks as well, so it's quite deadly. Not to mention, it also has a strength 3 flamer template on it attached to it as well, so this character can also launch flames. And we're giving this character the Pyromantic Mantle as well, so that way her close combat attacks also have the blazing trait on it. So a very deadly close combat fighter who'll be setting fools on fire. So next one we're going to focus on is Dayak Grek, which is the typically he's supposed to be a Croup bounty hunter for your games of Blackstone Fortress, but for this game we're going to give him the Beastman hunter characteristics. For obvious reasons, I mean, he kind of looks like a Beastman, so why not? Plus, he got that great weapon skill, strength, and toughness, and he's also going to cost you 120 credits as well, so that's the characteristic we went with. Now for his equipment, give him mesh armor for a 5 armor save, as well as a Gutter Forge cloak that's going to drop it down to a 4+ armor save, and give him a 5 ward save against environmental factors, just because it kind of matches that poncho look that he's wearing right now. Now obviously, because he's carrying a Croup long rifle, we're going to equip him with a Croup long rifle, which is great because you could use it for shooting as well as close combat as well. This character does have the Feral Warriors special rule, so every single time he takes a flesh wound, he gets an additional attack in close combat, and he's also got Friends On conditioning, which means he's immune to the negative effects of Friends On. The next fighters we're going to work on now are Ryan and Rouse. So first off, let's start with Ryan real quick. So Ryan is a Rattling Hunter to cost you 220 credits. He's got mesh armor for that 5 armor save, as well as a last pistol for a shooting attack. And we're giving this character all the explosives. We're giving him a demo charge so that we can blow up something big if you need to, or a very critical enemy that's high toughness, have multiple wounds. Blasting charges as a weapon, because blasting charges are amazing, as well as frag grenades, because those are also amazing as well. And we're also giving this character a grapnel launcher, because that's what he's carrying as well. Plus it can help him kind of rocket around the battlefield, moving to various areas within 12 inches so that we can lob explosives at your enemies. We're also giving him a bioscanner because unfortunately the Auspex is not available in Necromunda, so bioscanner is the closest thing we have to it. He does have the sniping special rule for being a Rattling, as well as sneaking special rule, which means your enemies suffer -1 to hit against him when he's in partial cover, and he's also got the slopping skill as well, because that automatically comes as being a Rattling hunter. His twin brother Rouse will also be a Rattling Hunter as well at 145 credits. Once again, armed with mesh armor for a 5 armor save, and we're equipping this guy with a hotshot laskin with infra sights. That way you can get that strength for shooting attack. It kind of looks like that's what he's carrying as well. At the same time, the infra sight will also remove partial cover from your enemies, as well as allow you to shoot in all visibility conditions. And we're also giving this character photo goggles. That way we can extend that visibility condition up to 18 inches with the photo goggles and the infra sight combined. So it makes it very, very deadly to shoot in dark or pitch black conditions. He's also got the sniping special rule, which means you can reroll ones if he misses, so that's great. He's also got the sneaking skill as well as the slopping skill, and we give this character a specialist designation, so that way if we want to later on, we can give this guy a much better weapon like a long rifle or a long lass or something like that later on. And the very last fighter we're going to talk about is UR025, which in my opinion would actually make him an Iron Automata is what you would get. You can find these rules in the Book of Judgment. This would make him a brute in your gang, as well as it costs you 220 credits. The reason why I picked this characteristic for this character is because the Iron Automata has the closest skills, as well as weapons and equipment as characteristics that I imagine that UR025 would probably have. So he's got a Power Claw, which is what this miniature is armed with, as well as an Assault Cannon, which is also what this miniature is equipped with. He's got the Man of Iron special rule, which means he's got a 3-up armor save as well. He's got the really glitchy special rule, so you do have to worry about that, but he also comes with automatic repairs, which means he can also repair himself as well. Also comes the Nerves of Steel skill, which is great because this guy's gonna be shot at quite a bit, so this will help him escape pinning. And he's also got the Fearsome skill, which also kind of matches up because, you know, this thing looks absolutely terrifying. So there you guys have it. That is my take on the Blackstone Fortress Explorers from the crew of the Vanguard. So with that being said, let's move on to the crew of the Ultimatum. Up next, we're going to talk about the crew of the Ultimatum, which is represented by these 5 fighters that you see in this picture here. The 5 members of the Ultimatum were actually available in 2 different supplements. They're available in the Escalation supplement, which also feature the Cult of the Abyss. That was a big box set that you can get for Warhammer Blackstone Fortress. Also, the standalone board game Combat Arena was another game that these guys are also available in as well. So we have characteristics for all 5 of these fighters. So first, let's talk about the Rogue Trader, Naim Shai Murad. She's going to be a House Hunt leader as well at 310 credits for her. She's got a 5-inch allowance, 3+ weapon skill, blizzard skill, strength, and toughness as well as wounds, 4+ initiative, 6 leadership, 5 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 6 intelligence. Now this character is going to be given the House Escher House Legacy, and the reason why I did that is because she kind of looked like something like the House Olanti or House Escher would have in their ranks. At the same time, trying to pick some of the weapons and characteristics that are available to her. Now the problem that I ran into, of course, were her guns that she uses. She uses what's called a negotiator pistol, I believe is what they're called, and I couldn't find anything that was close to that in the setting besides using stub guns, but stub guns aren't cool, so instead I decided to give her paired needle pistols instead. Because they're silent, they have the toxin traits, so they can potentially take out people with one shot. You can also use them in close combat as well, plus they're silent, so I imagine it's kind of fit with that gunslinger aesthetic. I suppose you could shell out cash to get paired stub guns with dum-dum rounds and scopes and stuff like that, that, but that seems a little expensive for some real basic weapons, whereas needle pistols are quite cool. We're also giving her a stiletto sword as well, which could be represented by either one of the sword that's on her back or the little like peg leg blade that she has to take out enemies, which could be cool. We gave her Kim Sith as well with a intelligence of 6+. She's going to make those toxin attacks quite lethal with her weaponry, and we also gave her a sensor skull as well, so that way she gets bonuses to ballistic shots with her ballistic skill with her pistols, because she does have servo skulls with her. And that pretty much makes up my take on Naim Shai Murad. Up next is the Crusader Gottfried de Montbard. This character is going to be a House Hunt champion at 270 credits. We give him the 5-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 5 initiative, 2 attacks, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. Now, the reason why we picked up this characteristic is because that strength 4 is what we're looking for. Plus, I know he does have an initiative of 5, but this guy is decked out in armor, so you could argue that he's kind of off balance because he's wearing so much armor. Now, we're giving this character a House Vansar House Legacy, and the reason why is because of the weapons and equipment that we use for this character. This character has an armored body glove, which makes him immune to Ravphage, also gives him +1 to his armor save as well. And we're giving this character light carapace armor, which drops the armor save to a 3+, plus it gives him immunity to Ravphage. And from the way that this character is dressed, I think it's safe to assume that this character would have light carapace armor. I mean, he's in full body armor. Now, I gave him a power sword. You can easily upgrade that to a mastercrafted power sword if you want to later on. And the main reason why I took the House Vansar Legacy was to give him the High Star 800 energy shield. So that way it can protect him because he's carrying a shield, plus it can defend him. He can use it in close combat in conjunction with his power sword. So very much a close combat fighter. The next fighter we're going to focus on is Aradia Medellin, which is the Primaris Psyker. We're giving her a House Hunt champion at 170 credits. We give her a 5-inch wound allowance, a 4+ weapon skill, 3+ ballistic skill, 4 strength, 3 toughness, 2 wounds, 5+ initiative, 2 attacks, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 5 intelligence. We chose this characteristic specifically for that 6+ willpower. Now, we gave her the Delac House Legacy, so that she has mesh armor as well as a last pistol. We also gave her a Mastercrafted Shock Stave, which I recommend you psychically attune that weapon, so that way you get the force ability on it, so that way you get Sever as well as power. We gave her a Psychic upgrade as well for 30 credits, as well as a telepathy skill with Fearful Aura as well as Mind Control, because that kind of matched the overall aesthetic of this character. Next up is Servitor X101. This is going to be a Beastman Hunter Specialist. It costs you 250 credits. And the reason why we picked the Beastman Hunter Specialist is because the characteristics pretty much matches what I imagine this servitor would be able to do in terms of close combat shooting, having a higher strength and toughness as well. So that's the reason why we went with that characteristic. We also gave him mesh armor for 5 armor save. And the reason why I made him a specialist is because this miniature is actually armed with a grav gun, so we figured why not use exactly the same weapon for this character. That's why I made him a specialist as well. We also gave this character a servo claw for close combat for obvious reasons. We also gave him photolumen for that giant spotlight that's on his shoulder as well, so that we can illuminate the darkness. And because he's a specialist, he can take special weapons. He's also got the Feral Warriors as well as the Friends on Conditioning skill, special rules attached to him as well. And the last fighter for this delegation is going to be Data Losos. That's going to be that little tech, AdMech tech guy that was with this crew. We're going to make him a House Hunter for 170 credits. He's got a 6-inch wound allowance, 4+ weapon skill, 5+ ballistic skill, 3 strength, 3 toughness, 1 wound, 3 initiative, 1 attack, 6 leadership, 6 cool, 6 willpower, as well as 7 intelligence. Now this guy's going to have the House Vansar Legacy, so that way he does have access to that, which gives him Armored Body Glove, which gives him immunity to Ravphage, as well as +1 to his armor save. He's going to have a mesh armor on top of that, giving him a 4 armor save. And we're giving this character a plasma pistol because that kind of looks like what he's carrying there, as well as a servo claw, which is represented by that thing that's over his shoulder. And we also give him rad grenades, that way he can throw that around and also reduce the reduce the toughness of his enemies. And Data Losos is the very last members of this escalation box set that we're going to talk about. So that's my take on these characters. The next we're going to focus on now is on the Entourage fighters. So these are the rules I came up with the Blackstone Fortress Entourage fighters. I'm not sure if these guys got their own box set or not, or if it was just something from Warhammer Community. When I was doing my research on Blackstone Fortress Explorers, this popped up as a Warhammer Community article, so I'm going to give you rules for these characters, so that way if you want to include these guys in your lists, you can do so. And it basically consists of 4 fighters. So of the explorers available here, we have 2 brothers who are the Brogan brothers. They're both Ogrins. The first one is Gren Knuckles Ogrin. He's going to be an Ogrin Hunter, costing you 210 credits. We gave this character an armored undersuit as well as furnace plates. That way he's got a 5 armor save normally, 4 up armor save he gets shot from the front, just because it kind of matches what it looks like he's wearing. We're giving this character a combat shotgun with salvo and shredder ammo because that's the closest thing I can figure out to determine what makes a ripper gun that most ogres use. I imagine it's basically a combat shotgun, just fully automatic, so we gave it to this character as well. Now granted, Ogre Hunters have horrible ballistic skills, but so what? It's a shotgun. Get up close and personal, unload, or use your template attacks from that weapon. And we're giving them the fighting knife so that way they can take advantage of that bandit-looking weapon on the Ripper gun. At the same time, with a strength of 5, you're going to be putting out a lot of harm with that weapon. The other Brogan brother is Dorg the Wall Brogan. This character is going to be another Ogre Hunter costing 210 credits. He's got an armor undersuit as well as furnace plates, so that way he's got a 5-up armor save when he gets shot at, or a 4-up armor save if he gets attacked from the front. We gave this character a shock stave because that way we get that versatile trait, plus, you know, his high strength is like strength 5 already, so he's strengthening at strength 6. But the main reason why we took that shock stave was largely because of that 2-inch versatile trait. And we gave this character a high star pattern energy shield because that was the closest thing I could figure to use for that brawling shield that this character is using, and I figured it pretty much matches the overall aesthetic. You use it as a close combat weapon, you can also protect yourself with it. The next fighter from the Entourage rules is Penitent 707. We're going to give this character the Beastman Hunter characteristics, just because this guy's all about charging in forward, fighting in close combat. He's pumped to the eyeballs full of combat drugs, so why not represent that best by using the Beastman characteristics to do that? Like I said, it's going to cost 170 credits. We're going to give this character mesh armor for fire armor save, as well as parrot shock whips, because that's what it looks like this character is carrying, is shock whips. So you get that versatile attack, you also got that shock characteristic attached to it, makes it very deadly. We're also giving this character Friends On as well, so that we can take advantage of those rules, as well as a stim slug stash, because why not pump this guy with more combat drugs than necessary? He does have the Feral Warrior skill special rule, so that way if he takes flesh wounds, he gets additional attacks, and he's also got Friends On conditioning, which means that he's immune to the negative effects of Friends On. So just pump this guy full of combat drugs and send him in the direction of which you want to have destroyed, and he will destroy it for you. And the last fighter we're going to talk about from the Entourage box set is Scarburn Zapdaka, which is a orc freebooter. He's supposed to be a flash gift, but you know, I couldn't find rules for orcs for Necromunda, so I decided why not go with a Beastman Hunter characteristic, because that kind of matches up with the characteristics of what a orc would have. He's going to cost 195 credits. This guy's got mesh armor as well as a combat shotgun with salvo, shredder, as well as firestorm ammunition. The reason why I chose that weapon is because unfortunately he's carrying a zap gun, so it's got all kinds of cool weapons attached to it. I could have made this guy a specialist and gave him something like a combo weapon of some sort, but I didn't want to take away your specialist slot in case you wanted to use that for somebody else. So I gave him a combat shotgun just because it's big, it's bulky, it's got high strength attacks, it gives you 2 template attacks, and you got the firestorm ability, which allows you to put blaze, so this gives you a variety of different shots you could use on your enemies that you can roleplay as your Zappa gun. We're also giving this character a cleaver for close combat because, you know, orcs carry choppas, so that's the closest thing I can think of one. And we give this character the specialist ability, so that way if you do want to upgrade this weapon to something better, you can do that if you want to. And he's also got the Feral Warrior skill, so if he takes flesh wounds, he gets additional attacks, which is very much an orc thing, I imagine, as well as Friends On conditioning as well. The very last fighter we're going to talk about is the Archivist from the Deadly Alliance supplement from Blackstone Fortress. So this actually gave you the Zote, one of the rarest of types of miniatures available for Warhammer 40k, and we're going to include this guy into your list as well. So he's big, he's reptilian, he's got 6 limbs, so this is the Archivist. He is a Zote, and the closest thing I could think of in terms of characteristics that match up with what I think a Zote could do would be an Ogre Hunt champion, costing 370 credits for your character as well. So he's going to be the most expensive fighter that we have on this list. He's got an armor undersuit as well as a hazard suit, and the reason why we equipped him with the hazard suit is so because of that, he's immune to Radphage, he's immune to Blaze. At the same time, he also gets additional toughness for toxin traits, so we're making this guy very survivable just because he's got a respirator and looks like he's got fancified, you know, armor on as well. We're also giving this character an Inferno pistol, which is a Melta pistol that you can use in close combat as well as in short range shooting. Strength 8, high damage, high armor penetration. You can use it in close combat or in shooting. Plus, it kind of looks like what I imagine that weapon that he's carrying looks like. And we're giving this character an arc welder as well, represented by that power glove claw thing that he's wearing as well. Also, high strength, high toughness, high strength attack, high damage, and high armor penetration as well. This guy's gonna be a close combat wrecking machine, and he's also got a respirator as well because that's what the Zote is wearing, and plus it gives him bonuses against gas attacks, which can be very helpful for him as well. And that is my take on the Archivist for this video. So there you guys have it. This is my take on the Blackstone Fortress Explorers. If you want to use them in your games in Necromunda, may I suggest actually using these lists that I made for you. If you guys notice, I left the skills off on purpose. That way you can pick whatever skills that you want for these fighters and equip them any way you want to. At the same time, I also left it kind of flexible so that way you can build your own rosters at anybody that you want. For example, if you were to take everybody from the original box set, I believe they come around 17 or 1800 credits, so it gives you some more credits to use in case you're using Aranthian Succession rules, for example. Or you could take a mixture of those guys with with the crew of the Ultimatum, as well as maybe some Entourage guys, maybe the Zote. It just kind of depends on how you want to do it to make your own little party. Like I said before, I just kind of focus on the individual fighters, that way you can pick and choose what you want to make your parties for your games of Necromunda as well. And of course, because I did this, because every single miniature is a Necromunda miniature, and plus these guys are in the 40k setting anyways, and they would just look normal walking around the Underhives of Necromunda anyways. And of course, if any of you guys end up using these, please let me know how it works out for you guys, because I love to hear exactly how these recommendations work out for you. And if you guys have any other recommendations of other videos you'd like to see for Way of the Underhive, please put it in the comments box down below, and if I like your idea, I'll make a video about it, and I'll give you credit as well. So that's great for this week, guys. As always, please feel free to like, comment, and or subscribe. You guys' input is invaluable to us as always. I am Commander Cheapskate. I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace out and stay classy.